Your children, three, what are the age differences?
They're triplets.
Triplets, wow.
They're
Hi guys, welcome to Unifari's YouTube channel, and this is another episode of Walk in My Shoes called Triple Dose of My Canvas episode 2. Morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you
I'm
today
fine,
as
thank
work?
you.
Okay, are you feeling
I'm very well.
all right? So we just have a couple of questions to ask you. I don't know if you have time to answer some of those questions.
Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
All right, please. All right, Fee. So I think our first question would be, what do you do to relax? How do you like to enjoy yourself?
Considering the kind of work I do and the fact that I'm a mother of three, I relax by listening to music and then just lying on my bed and reading some um Christian literatures.
Ah, that's nice. Mother of three. Interesting. So, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned so far from being a mother and maybe from your mother figure around you?
Um, Okay, so I've learned that my life lesson, the valuable lesson I've learned is from Proverbs 14:1, that says that a wise woman builds her home, and then the foolish will use her hand
And to
to,
scatter
to
it.
scatter it. Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. What quality do you admire most in your mother or a mother figure or in yourself? Because oftentimes we tend to learn a lot of things about ourselves that you don't even think you actually have the capacity to. So, is there a major lesson that you've learned as a mother?
Okay, I'll start from my mom. My mom was a giver because she's late now, but one thing that strikes off that I've learned from him is she was a giver. She gives to a fault, and not just money, but personal assets or personal belongings also. She was a nurse as at the time she was working, and I
Okay.
recall that her blood group was O positive, which was something that everybody, regardless of your blood type, could get. And being in the hospital, whenever they ran short of blood, she was one of those that would willingly be ready to give blood, and that ensured that they never ran out of, they were never in scarce, the blood bank was never in any kind of emergency, because she was always available. In fact, she would willingly go there and then give her blood, donate her blood from time to time.
That is beautiful. A human blood bank. Interesting. Okay, so um your children, three, what are the age differences?
They're triplets.
Triplets, wow,
They're triplets.
interesting. How
There are
did
no
you
age
do that?
differences. Well, I can say it's God and then possibly genetics.
How old are they?
There are nine.
9. Wow, what was the pregnancy like?
Um, so surprisingly, the pregnancy was very easy, considering
Good.
the risk factor that could have been there, but it was quite easy. I can say that if I think about the pregnancy journey, I jokingly say that I would go again, but I'm not trying again. But then it was quite easy.
All right, nice, nice. Okay, so what's your favorite memory from being a child or from when you were a child?
My favorite memory from being a child was Christmas. It was always very
Nice.
colorful at home. My mom was very detailed as to getting us our Christmas dress as early as October, and then you're going to school in the morning, or you wake up in the morning and it's Saturday, and then you just go to the wardrobe and kind of catch a glimpse of it. It was always something that I grew up to realize that it was so sacrificial, because even now I race to meet up with that kind of thing, but sometimes I don't, I miss it. So I didn't understand how precious and how valuable that was until I grew up. So having to have then on Christmas Day, going out to go and see family, see friends I have not seen it like in a whole year, was something that I really liked, and it was a valuable memory for me.
Interesting. Thank you. So do you love, of course you would, but do you actually love being a mother? Because yes, there are days that you just like, nah. But what has it been like? Do you enjoy it?
Ah, yes, I enjoy being a mother, and then being a mother of multiples is very interesting. It has its own days when you are fagged out, you are tired, but the interesting part of it is you are fascinated by seeing your children grow, right? Raising three different individuals with different personalities, and you have to connect with them. That like building that individualism such that everybody is unique in their own
All
right, and then
right.
you would connect with them. It's very interesting.
Okay. So are there any regrets so far for motherhood? or maybe challenges you went through in pregnancy that probably still gives you PTSD that you're like, no, I don't want to do this anymore?
Oh, I don't regret being a mother. And then yes, there were challenges, especially during pregnancy, that not as regard the pregnancy itself, but they were emotional like breakdown of how was I going to cope the financial part of it, how was I going to nurture them, how was I being a first time mom, I was filled with fears. But over the years, I can say that, they were just things that were just figment of my imagination because somehow everything had fizzled away. In fact, many of those fears didn't crystallize. I didn't experience those things. I had good hands. By the grace of God, God provided so much money. And up till now, I look back and then I see the hand of God and I'm very grateful. So there are no regrets at all.
It's beautiful. So, lastly, this will be the last question. I'm going to be asking about the woman at anatomy. Oftentimes the journey from starting your period, the period cramps. I think a lot of black women tend to have fibroids, PCOS
Mm-hmm,
nowadays
mm-hmm.
now, which we don't know. But did you at any point have any issues with any of those?
Okay, so the issue I had was initially was irregular period when I first started out. Okay, when I first started out, I started menstruating very early. I think at the age of 9, and then everything went out well until when I entered university. I think about 16, and for 4 months I didn't see my period, and I didn't see that it was a challenge to me because I was enjoying. I wasn't changing pads. I wasn't doing anything. So until when I went home for my first semester holiday, and then my mom screamed. She usually asks us for like the menstruation chart, and then I told her I had not been menstruating, and then immediately she just booked me for a gynecological session. Like I needed to see a gynecologist, and that was when I was giving Bromagon. I was giving this, and then she started explaining that that this could me. So when by the time they were checking, they realized I had ovarian cysts, but they were so small that they needed I could use drug to bust. And that was like the beginning of the women at anatomy. My mom had to like had to explain the essence of you know. But the regular menstruation, once take off the drugs, it goes back again.
Mm.
And then I also recall that while I was when I after I got married, and then I wasn't conceiving for the first 2 months, I went to the doctor, and the first thing they asked to was my menstruation chart so that they could determine whether I was ovulating.
Ovulating.
And at that point, I told them it wasn't regular, and they were like, okay, well, if you are ovulating and you're not menstruating, they don't really have issues with the menstrual flow, but you have to be sure that you're ovulating. So, it was those are the kind of things that I had like challenges with. And then lastly, the woman anatomy, I didn't have fibroid, but because of the volume of my stomach, I still haven't recovered from that up till now. I'm not the very lucky ones that, get to snap back
Back immediately.
immediately. So I still look at myself. I sometimes I'm not so proud of the my stomach, how it looks and all that. And then considering that the grandmas that I had in the house, then I had surgery, they were like, oh no, don't touch it, don't this. But I still cannot say whether I feel like I would have done it the other way, maybe like not gone against what they have said, maybe if I had put in more effort and all of those things. So, not having that your body back, the figure that you want and all of that. But then it's like a scar. I see it like a scar that gives me joy, and that's the sign that I've gone through motherhood, and then I have three at once, and if once I look at my stomach and I look at my children, I'm like, which one would you prefer to have that body or not to have this kid? So that's just gives me that confidence that it's not bad after all.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed our time with you. Have a nice day.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
That is that on episode 2 with our triple dose canvas. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. There are 3 more episodes of this series to come. Bye, guys.